Hello and welcome to Lab 500. In this lab, we'll be using Oracle Analytics Cloud's machine learning capabilities to go ahead and predict subscriptions for a mailing list. And now we're going to start this lab by creating a data flow. So we'll make sure our project is saved, so save it if you haven't already. And we'll go to the home menu. Here, we can create a new data flow. So hit create and then go to data flow. And now we're going to be prompted with the opportunity to add a new data set. So hit create data set and then hit drop file there. And we're going to select Coolcart orders as the file that we want. Going to make sure everything looks right, then hit add. We'll now see this menu, and this is the data flow home screen. We're going to navigate on this left bar to the data flow steps. And here we're going to add another data set. So go ahead and select that. We're going to drag that down there. And we're going to create a new data set. And again, upload a new file by hitting the upload button. We're going to select Coolcart customers. And once it uploads, we can now add it to our data flow. Looks good. Great. So the Oracle Analytics Cloud automatically detects that there's matching rows and joins it here. If it doesn't, you can just add the join and drag it over there, but fortunately it did. Before we go ahead and continue with our data flow, we're going to want to make sure that all of the columns that are there are the ones that need to be there. We can remove extraneous columns by selecting filter and dragging it up top here to Coolcart orders. We're now going to add the filter by hitting this plus button, and we're going to go ahead and select category as movies and music is not relevant to our analysis. We're going to go ahead and select movies and music and ensure in this hamburger menu up here that exclude selection is what we want. And so now that we have a filter applied, we can go ahead and select the columns that we want. So hit select columns and drag it over here to our data flow. And over here, we can scroll down to customer ID 1. Now this is a duplicate column, and so we can select it, then go ahead and select remove selected to remove it from our analysis. Our next step is to group sales data into regions. We can do this by hitting the plus button near select columns and selecting group from the menu. Here we can select which column we want to choose from, and we're going to choose customer country. This pulls up a list of the options. We're going to name this group NA. Type in NA. And we're going to add Canada and US to the group. So NA stands for North America. We're now going to add another group, and we can call this group EMEA. EMEA is Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. So we're going to add France, Germany, and the United Kingdom to this group. And last but not least, we will include APAC. APAC, and this stands for Asia Pacific, and thus we're going to add Japan. And now that that's finished, we're going to go to Save Dataset and drag that over to our data flow. We're now going to save the name of our dataset. We're going to title it Coolcart Orders and Customers. We're also going to change a few of the column attribute types. So we're going to treat it as an attribute rather than a measure for order ID. And we'll do the same for customer ID. We're going to treat that also as an attribute. We're going to go up to the top corner, go to the drop-down menu and hit Save As. We're going to name the data flow Cool Cart Data Flow, and then hit OK. And now that it's saved, we're going to go ahead and run the data flow. So go ahead and hit Run Data Flow. And great, it's now run. So let's go to the home page now. So go to the hamburger menu, then select Home. And let's go to the Cool Cart Orders and Customers dataset. This is the one that we recently joined. And for here, we're going to open a new project with this dataset. You can either do that by going to the hamburger menu and hitting Create Project, or double-clicking on it. And now we have a new project with the columns that we just created and joined. Let's go to the Prepare tab to do some data wrangling. Here, we're going to scroll over to the Customer Country column. And you can notice that in the Recommendations column right here, you can enrich this data set with a number of different other features. So one of the ones that we'll go ahead and do is enrich customer country with continent. So if you select it, you can see that the customer country now would have another separate column which includes the correlating continent for each country. Pretty neat. We already have our grouped data that we did earlier in the data flow. So let's go to the Visualize tab. We're now going to create some visualizations. Go over to the Data Elements column, select Order Date and Order Amount, and pick Visualization. We're going to select a line chart. Next, select Category and move it to the Color field. We're now going to go to the graph type and change it to an area graph. We're going to further divide this order amount by order date graph by changing out the date. So instead of order date, we're going to select month. Select month and replace order date in the category x-axis section. Now we have our area graph broken down by month. Let's next create another visual, this one about order amount subdivided into category and subcategory. So we're going to do that by going into the Data Elements menu, and we're going to select Category, Subcategory, and Order Amount. Then pick Visualization. We're going to select a tree map. The tree map shows order amount broken out into categories and then even subcategories within that. We're now going to create another visualization. Go to Data Elements, select Order Date and Order Amount, and create Best Visualization. This graph displays the order amount from the 2016 and 2017 years. Let's deep dive further into this by adding a trend line. Right-click on the graph and hit Add Trend Line. Let's see what this trajectory would look like in the future. Right-click on the visual and hit Add Forecast. So not only do we have a trend line which assesses the overall trend across this 2016 and 2017 period, but also we have a forecasted period which projects the immediate forecast based on the data we have. We're now going to toggle some of the settings of this forecast. In the Order Amount by Order Date panel, go down to Forecast and change the number of periods from 3 to 6. Also, change the model type from seasonal ARIMA to regular ARIMA. Now that this canvas is finished, go to the drop-down menu near Canvas 1, select it, and hit Rename. We're going to rename this canvas Sales, and then hit the check mark to confirm. We're now going to save the project. So go to the top, hit Save As, and we're going to name it Machine Learning, and then hit Save. We're now going to create a new canvas. So hit the Add Canvas button at the bottom. In this canvas, we're going to look at customers. So let's first do a customer age group analysis. Select order amount and customer age group. Hit Create Best Visualization. We're going to change the chart type to donut. And move customer age group to color. We now have an arresting visual of our customer age groups subdivided into order amount. Let's next look at it from a geographic standpoint. Select order amount and customer country and hit Pick Visualization. We're going to select a map view. Here you can see the order amount taken into account as well as the country the customer is from. Notice that if you go to the customer country order amount panel, you can select the overlapping pages here, and this is the data layers. This is a recently added feature. Here you can adjust the map layers, the layer type, and also the transparency of the map. We're now going to create another visualization, but this time looking at customer gender. So select order amount and customer gender and hit Pick Visualization. Select pie chart. And at the bottom, we can see a pie chart that correlates with the gender and order amount. But let's enhance this visualization a bit more. Right-click on the visualization and hit Colors. Hit Manage Assignments. And here you can toggle the color of each visual. For female, let's select pink. Click on the dot and select pink among the color options, or over here. Select OK. And for male, let's go blue. Select it up here, and then hit OK. Click out of the box, and our changes have now applied. Let's make sure there's enough room for the map. Let's move this visual to the left-hand side. Let's name the canvas by hitting the drop-down menu near Canvas 2. Rename. Let's call the canvas Customers. Hit the check mark to confirm changes and save the project. We're next going to look at a powerful feature inside the Oracle Analytics Cloud, and this is the Explain feature. We'll showcase this via the category column in our Data Elements tab. So select it, right-click, and hit Explain Category. Here we can see that there's basic facts about a category and an overall pie chart, for example, or donut graph. And there's also key drivers, and the key drivers is where you see the elements that are highly correlated with a certain outcome. Segment that explain, try to find the hidden groups of data that predict outcomes. And the anomalies, as the name would suggest, it detects certain anomalies or variations in the data and presents them to you. But the best part of this is the ability to easily add these visualizations to your canvas. So if you hit this check mark box right here, and then hit Add Selected up top to confirm your selection. You'll notice that it creates a new canvas for you called Explain Category. And here it shows the number of order IDs across the different categories. So books and audibles, clothing and shoes, electronics and computers. This is a really powerful feature, and you can quickly embed a number of graphs in your canvases. But for now, this canvas is no longer needed, so we can go down to the drop-down menu and we can delete the canvas. And for the last part of this lab, we're going to use Oracle Analytics Cloud's machine learning capabilities, and we're going to develop a prediction subscription model. Our marketing manager, Isla, wants to take advantage of existing data gathered and look at patterns, the website data, customer age groups, customer gender, and customer country, and to see whether that influences their likeliness to subscribe. So let's do that. Let's go to the home menu by hitting the hamburger menu and then hit home. Save changes. And we're going to create a data flow. So hit create, then hit create data flow. We're going to add a new file. So we're going to hit create dataset, upload file, and we're going to add the Coolcart subscriptions dataset. Select the add button up here to add it to our data flow. And now we're going to add a binary classifier to our subscription dataset. We're going to do this. We're going to scroll down to train binary classifier and add that to our data flow. From the menu, select Naive Bayes for classification and hit OK. Set a prediction target by clicking on Select Column, then hitting Subscribed. Now navigate to Save Model and name the model Subscribed Prediction Model. Now go up top and save the data model as Subscribed Predictions. And then hit OK. Run the data flow to execute it. Next, we're going to go ahead and create a scenario. Go to Projects and open up the machine learning project we created previously. We're now going to add another canvas by hitting the plus button down there. And from here, we're going to add a dataset. So go ahead up top, hit the plus button, add, and hit add dataset. Hit create dataset, hit drop data file, and here we're going to select Coolcart Partner Sales. Select it here, then hit open. We're now going to do some data wrangling. Go ahead and go to order ID and select it. We're going to turn it into an attribute. So go ahead and hit A. Now go ahead and add it. Great. So now we're going to go to the Visualize tab. And in here, we're going to create a new scenario. So go ahead and hit Add up top and hit Create Scenario. We're now going to select the subscribed prediction model, then hit OK. We're going to load Coolcart Partner Sales, then hit Done. We're now going to create a visualization with customer name and prediction confidence. Hit Pick Visualization and select Pivot. The result is a pivot table Let's further augment this by dragging subscription prediction to color. You can see that yeses are marked with a green color and no's are marked by a blue color. If that's not the case for you, you can right click in color and go to manage assignments to toggle those colors. From this chart, you can predict which customers are more likely to get a subscription. And congrats, you've completed the workshop. There's many capabilities for business users and developers alike. And not only can you create great visualizations, but you can also use advanced analytics tools like machine learning models and predictive analytics to use towards your business. So thank you for following along, and we hope it was useful.